And the St. Francis Red Flash are conference tournament champions as they defeat the Robert Morris Colonials 66-56. Oh, what a game!
After falling one game short of the NCAA tournament in 2018, the Robert Morris Colonials felt as though they had unfinished business going into the 2018-2019 season.
Like the feeling of that we could have given more, and that we shouldn't have lost that game if we had given as much effort. But we did play very hard in that game, but I feel like there was more to give, and there were a lot of mistakes that were made.
The new season provided optimism. Last year's freshman class had dominated the stat sheets and had already become proven stars. Hanukkah Ikematsu and Megan Callahan were some of the best three-point shooters in the entire country, while Nina Augustin and Laura Carrasco were proven role players. Robert Morris brought in three coveted freshmen as Isabella Posset, Esther Castillo, and Natalie Villaflor added depth to an already talented team. But the Colonials had also lost three starters from last year's record-breaking team. The departures of Megan Smith, Michaela Moraine, and Jocelyn Jones left questions about the experience of next year's team. Junior center Nneka Ezebo was a preseason All-NEC selection, but with a larger role, questions lingered as to how she would fare. The Colonials came into the season being selected in the NEC preseason poll to reclaim their throne as conference champions. The pressure was on, and the expectations were high for Charlie Biscaglia and his squad to accomplish what they had failed to do just the season before.
The focus was back on this season. The focus was back on, the game that we were actually going to play. There was no thoughts about last season, thoughts about a moment in the past. That stuff was behind us.
The start of the season provided some unexpected bumps in the road for Robert Morris, including a stretch of 6 consecutive losses, resulting in a dismal 3-8 non-conference record. To make matters worse, the Colonials lost star sophomore Megan Callahan for the rest of the season. The team, which appeared to be among the NEC's elite, left question marks hanging as they approached the start to their conference schedule. These questions would be answered. The Colonials steamrolled the competition, beating NEC opponents by an average of almost 20 points per game en route to their first 11-0 conference start in program history. RMU finished the conference 16-2 while locking down the first seed in the NEC tournament. 3 games stood between the Colonials and the pinnacle of college basketball, a spot in the NCAA tournament.
We welcome you to the North Athletic Complex here on the campus of Robert Morris University for the Northeast Conference quarterfinal game between the Robert Morris Colonials and the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights. The road to March Madness begins tonight.
The Fairleigh Dickinson Knights had won their final 2 games to sneak into the playoffs as the 8th and final seed in the NEC tournament. FDU was a favorable matchup for the Colonials, but with nothing left to lose and everything to gain, the Knights came out firing.
Tip off and we're underway here for the Northeast Conference quarterfinals. Niles at the point for FDU. Augustin guarding her, stops, pulls up, takes a 3, and hits it for Rachel Niles. Danley up top, over to Francillian, who buries the 3.
That's 2 threes in a row now for the Knights, Spencer.
Augustin will bring it down the floor herself and scan her options. Stops, pulls up for 3, and hits it. Nina Augustin with a response 3 for Robert Morris. Francillian cutting in, stolen away by Ikematsu. One-on-one for Hanukkah Ikematsu. She drives in and is fouled.
Great job by Ikematsu on defense. That's why the Colonials are ranked 12th in the country.
Francillian with it, guarded by Ezebo. Stolen away by Augustin. Nina Augustin racing down the court, and she's able to get the lay-in.
And that's another turnover early on for Francillian, Spencer.
Augustin on the left side, cutting in towards the hoop. Kicking it back out. Ikematsu faking the shot and draining the jumper.
Beautiful pass from Augustin to Ikematsu at the top of the key.
Robert Morris up 28-20 at halftime. The Colonials leading by 8, but the 8th seed hanging around.
Yeah, Spencer, the Knights came out and battled hard in the first quarter, kept things close. Down only by 8 at half is going to be real interesting to see if they could keep it up down the stretch.
You don't put teams away early. You just don't. Teams continue to fight. If you get up 10-15 and you lay back a little bit or you get a little comfortable, that team's going to push back on you, no question about it. And that's what the conference tournament's all about, continuing to go over how we got here and what we need to continue to do with our passion and our mentality to outwork the opponent. And we couldn't lose that. And so, there was, a combination of all that going on in a very short period of time. And the response was great.
Both teams coming back onto the court after halftime. The Colonials with a 28-20 lead going into the second half.
The Fairleigh Dickinson Knights are hanging around in this one. Let's see if the Colonial star players can step it up, or else we're in for an interesting finish.
Posse coming down the lane, losing the handle, but kicking it out to Augustin. Augustin for three. She drains it.
Nina Augustin has been phenomenal tonight, Spencer, leading the charge on offense for the Colonials.
Castillo with it now for Robert Morris, all the way down the court to Villaflor, who puts it up and is fouled.
Unfortunately for the Colonials, that one didn't fall, but what a beautiful pass.
Augustin with it now at the top for Robert Morris. Over to Castillo, wide open for three, and she hits it. A 20-point lead now for Robert Morris. Zebo lays it up and in.
Nice little finish with the right hand there from Zebo. She's really starting to come to life in the beginning of this fourth quarter.
Adams with it now. Over to Ikematsu for three. She hits it. Hanukkah Ikematsu adding to the lead for the Colonials. And that's all she wrote. Robert Morris with a 64-38 victory over the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights after catching fire in the second half, Michael.
Yeah, Spencer, you hit the nail right on the head there. It was close through that first quarter and even the first half, but down the stretch, RMU showed why they're the #1 team in this tournament.
I do believe Robert Morris is clearly the best team in the league. They were 16-2 last year, 16-2 this year, and they're very good. So, well deserved that they were the #1 seed, and they're a very good team.
The Colonials' next opponent was one they would not take lightly. Despite being the #6 seed, the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers came into Moon Township having handed Robert Morris their first conference loss of the season back in February.
Well, if you looked at their schedule, they knocked off, the tougher teams on their schedule. I mean, we knew going in. I mean, they had in the non-conference, they had beat Radford. Radford was a 14 seed in the NCAA tournament, okay, and they had knocked them off. So we saw it right away. This team is capable.
And with talented players such as NEC Player of the Year candidate Juliet Lawless, this team was no joke.
And so we knew that they were going to come out and be very, very energetic. Plus, they beat us at third place. They were the team that knocked us off first conference loss. That was their last, thought process of knocking us off, and obviously that gave them some confidence to say, we play our game and we continue to disrupt Robert Morris with the things that we did in that game. Then we'll be able to come out there and pull off the win again.
8 teams started this tournament, 4 teams remain. We welcome you to the Northeast Conference semifinal game between the Robert Morris Colonials and the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers, where the winner of this game will move on to the Northeast Conference Championship.
And beyond that, the winner of this contest moves one step closer to punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Fasten your seatbelts. 40 minutes of basketball starts now. Lawless at the top of the key, looks for a screen, doesn't get one, sends it back out to Harrison for 3, she connects.
And just like that, Spencer, the Mountaineers have jumped out to an early lead.
Lawless on the wing looks for some options, stolen away by Posset. Posset racing down the left side with some help. Over to Pluvios, to Ozzy-Momodu in the middle, and Ozzy-Momodu lays it in. Another bucket for Robert Morris.
As you can see, Spencer, the Colonials have strung together a few nice baskets here, and they've jumped out to a nice little 10-1 run.
Augustin with Lawless on her. To her left, what a move behind the back to Ozzy-Momodu for 2 points.
The Mountaineers had hung tough early. Their defense slowed the Colonials down as they trailed by just 5 at the end of the first. The best was yet to come from the Robert Morris offense.
Lee posting up Ozzy-Momodu, going to her left and finishing with the right.
And the Mountaineers have closed the Colonials' lead to 3.
Posset, the crossover to her left, over to Ikematsu for 3. She buries the triple. Adams over to Nina Augustin in the corner. She gets the 3.
And Spencer, the Colonials have been on an absolute tear in the second and third quarter in this one. Basket after basket falling. The Mountaineers need to find a way to stop this if they want to stay in this one.
Fawcett cutting towards the lane, pressure on her, over to Castillo for three, and it's good. Fawcett to Castillo in the corner, and she connects again. Ozzy-Momodu underneath, back out to Castillo, sidestep, Esther Castillo for three, bang!
That's 3 in a row for Castillo from behind the arc. She's been a killer in this third quarter.
The Colonials held a 12-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but with her season on the line, Juliet Lawless stepped up in the game's biggest moments.
Castillo underneath the basket, bad pass stolen away by Lawless. Lawless racing down the court, and the layup is good for Juliet Lawless. Lawless on the baseline, off Fawcett's leg, still with it Lawless. She throws it up, that one off of the rim, bouncing around, back to Lawless, off the backboard and in.
And what a heads-up play by Lawless there. Great job by her, and the Colonials' lead has been trimmed down to 6.
Augustin driving in with the layup, no good from her, rebounded by Harrison. Harrison pushing it up the court to settle. Fast break for the Mountaineers. Over to Burkhead. Burkhead off the glass and in for Mount St. Mary's.
What a play by the Mountaineers, and their bench is loving it as they've trimmed the Colonials' lead down to 4.
There was a lot of emotions going through because during adversity, we tell each other that we have to stay together and stay strong through tough moments. And it really showed because when they were starting to make their runs or whatever, we started to having to talk to each other about like what we have to do better and that we have to continue to fight. Like we can't give up now.
All the pressure on Robert Morris as the lead is back down to 1 possession. Augustin on the left side swings it over to Ikematsu. Ikematsu for three. She connects.
Great shot there by Ikematsu and Spencer. The Colonials really needed that one to fall.
Ikematsu over to Azebo. Azebo drops it off for Augustin. Give and go back to Azebo. Lays it in and the foul.
What a finish from Nneka Azebo on that one. A lot of contact there, but she was still able to get it to go down.
Burkhead with it. Dropping it off to Lawless. Lawless back over to Harrison. Harrison for three. Knocks it down. An important three for Mount St. Mary's. Harrison for three off of the iron. Rebounded by Lee. Lee puts it back up. No dice for her. Rebounding it again, and she gets it.
Great effort on the glass there by Lee, and the Mountaineers are not going down easy.
Augustin to Adams. Azebo at the elbow. Back over to Fawcett. Fawcett for three. No good. Out of bounds. Off Robert Morris. Mount St. Mary's ball with under a minute. Lawless with Fawcett one-on-one. Juliet Lawless goes to her right, creates some separation, steps back. Lawless for three, no good. Rebounded by Augustin, and Augustin is fouled.
Great opportunity there for Lawless, but unfortunately she was unable to hit the shot that would have made this a one-point game.
Robert Morris will inbound it. Over to Augustin. Augustin gets run over and is fouled by Harrison, and Augustin will go to the line to shoot two.
Spencer, these 2 free throws are huge for RMU as they try to close out the Mountaineers.
Augustin's first free throw attempt to try and extend the lead for Robert Morris. She misses it.
Yeah, that one was a little bit short there. Spencer clanking out the front iron, just short.
Second attempt on the free throw attempts. Harrison inbounding from Mount St. Mary's. She gets it into Lawless. Lawless gets away from her defender. Kicks it to the corner. Burkhead for three. She sinks it. Burkhead brings a Mount St. Mary's back within 2.
And the Mountaineers bench is absolutely loving it as we head into the timeout.
A trip to the conference final on the line as Robert Morris up 64-62 with 25 seconds left in the game. Inbound for Robert Morris to Azebo. Azebo over to Pluvios. Pluvios back to Augustin, to Castillo. Mount St. Mary's looking to foul. Down low for Azebo. Azebo lays it in and the foul.
What a pass by Castillo there, Spencer, to get it down to Azebo, who makes the tough finish.
Inbound for Mount St. Mary's, down 5. Over to Harrison. Harrison with a quick three. She gets it. Mount St. Mary's down 2 points. Tipped off of the inbound to Ikematsu, and she's fouled. Ikematsu's free throw for Robert Morris. It's good, and it puts them up 3. 68-65. Ikematsu for her second free throw would put them up by 4. Misses the free throw, bouncing around, picked up by Robert Morris. Ikematsu with it to Augustin, and she's fouled.
That is a huge offensive rebound for the Colonials off the free throw, and at an opportune time with just over 9 seconds left.
Nina Augustin shooting free throws with Robert Morris up 3. First one off the back of the iron. Augustin needs to make a free throw in order to seal the deal for Robert Morris. Second free throw attempt for Augustin, nothing but net.
Colonials up 4 now after that second make.
Inbound for Mount St. Mary's to Lawless, their final push up the floor. Lawless racing down over to Harrison. Harrison a deep 3, she airballs that one and it goes out of bounds. And that's all she wrote. Robert Morris will survive in advance with a 69-65 victory over Mount St. Mary's.
Spencer, I think survive is the perfect term to use for this one. The Colonials were dominant in the second and third quarters of this game, but you got to give a lot of credit to Mount St. Mary's. The Mountaineers battled back and gave us a fantastic finish to this contest.
The Colonials earned the rematch they desired, as they would go head-to-head with the NEC's most prolific scorer, Jessica Kovach.
She plays unconventional. When you come to practice every day and we battle against each other, it's hard to simulate unconventional.
Well, she does everything and she does everything right.
She can do it all, and it takes, like I said before, 5 players, not just one, to stop her.
It's been 371 days since the St. Francis Red Flash beat the Robert Morris Colonials to take the NEC title. Today, they would play once again. 371 days of preparation had led to this one game, this final game, that would define what had been a historic season for the Colonials. Robert Morris had earned a chance to take back what was theirs, an NEC title. This was their moment.
Motivation should be another opportunity to go out there and to go against a program that's been very successful and obviously earned their way into this position as well. And they're going to be tough, and they're going to be doing what they do well at this point in the season. And we got to be better. That's really the mentality it was when we found out we were playing PA, and we had to go forward and get to work.
Like winning a championship, and I knew my team had my back. I think we were all ready to play them. Like, St. Francis is a great team. Like, we've played them twice already in the conference, but we just wanted to come out here and prove what we didn't last year.
If it was St. Francis or Sacred Heart, we would have to be ready. So, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have a rematch from last year, but we were just focused on trying to get to the end of the championship game, trying to pull out that win.
One game stands between these two teams in the NCAA tournament, but only one will punch their ticket to the big dance. It's the Northeast Conference Championship between the Robert Morris Colonials and the St. Francis Red Flash. There's the tip, and we are 4 quarters away from deciding an NEC champion. Adams at the top to Posset in the corner for 3, and she drains it from behind the arc. Swagger cutting in, sends it over to Thomas. Thomas driving in as well, back out to Courtney Zeza for 3, and it's good. Posset to Augustin for 3, and it falls. Rebounded by Zeza to Swager. Swager pushing it all the way up the court to Thomas. Thomas touching it back to Kovac from way downtown. She buries it.
What a shot by Kovac, doing what she does best, and these teams are trading blows early on.
Jess Kovac sizing up Esther Castillo. Kovac driving in towards the lane, stolen away by Hanukkah Ikematsu. Ikematsu racing down the court and laying it in for the basket.
Great job by Ikematsu right there, getting the steal and immediately transitioning to offense.
Ikematsu being guarded by Kovac and scanning her options. Over to Posset. Posset for another three. Got it!
And Spencer, that is another three from that same corner. The Colonials are absolutely loving that spot on the floor.
Posset's second free throw attempt, no good. Rebounded by Ozzy-Momodu. Back out to Posset. Posset at the buzzer. It's in! Bella Posset as time expires, and it's a 20-12 Robert Morris lead.
What a great job by Ozzy-Momodu to get the rebound and then kick it back out to Posset, who has ice in her veins. 10 points in the quarter for the freshman.
Thomas running down the court in transition for St. Francis, drops it off to Kovac. Kovac fakes the shot. It's blocked. No, it's a foul called on Castillo. Kovac on the right side with Augustine guarding her, stopping. Beautiful bounce pass into Sabino, puts it in. Sabino to Swager. Swager from three-point land, no good. Rebound by Courtney Zeza. Zeza with it. Zeza with the mid-range. She knocks it down.
Great awareness by Zeza to get the rebound and put it back up.
Morrow with Villaflor on her. Goes to her right, stops, spins, puts it up. A tough acrobatic shot for Leah Morrow. Time dwindling down here in the first half with the Colonials up by 3 on the red flash. Augustine with it, 5 seconds for Robert Morris. Back to Posset. Posset to her right. Over to Castillo. Castillo at the buzzer. Got it!
Like, I don't really show emotions, but in those moments, like, I feel like I go crazy, and it was amazing, especially like is that our freshmen taking shots like that and making them, it's amazing.
So I was just open and I started like asking for the ball, and then Bella saw me and threw me that pass that I catch with difficulties, but I catch. It was a good pass and I just knock it down.
Welcome back for the second half as Robert Morris leads St. Francis 32-26. Swager forward for St. Francis over to Thomas. Thomas on the right side turns, goes back to Sabino. Sabino for three, she gets it to fall. Kovac bringing it down. Nice overhead pass to Swager. Swager drives in, drops it off for Zeza. Zeza on the baseline, knocks it down.
A nice shot by Zeza there, making this one a 1-point game.
Posset spinning down the left side. Stops, cuts back towards the middle. Over to Augustine. Augustine for a deep three. Bangs it home.
What a shot by Augustine, hitting that one from way down.
Augustine with it on the right side. Over to Pluvios. To Adams. To Azebo. Down low. The basket counts and the foul. Augustine slowly brings it up the floor to Castillo. To Villaflor at the foul line. Back to Augustine. Another long three. And she hits it again from deep. Williams up top, down low to Kovac. Kovac with it, off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Ozzy-Momodu, and she's fouled. And Jessica Kovac furious about the call.
Yeah, Kovac not happy at all with the referees on this call. She's saying she got hit in the face, but unfortunately for her, it doesn't go her way this time.
Morrow with it, Morrow stopping, pulling up. That one short, rebounded by Castillo. Castillo with it, flying all the way down the court. Full steam ahead for Esther Castillo, and she lays it in.
Great job by Castillo there in transition, wasting no time.
Heading into the fourth quarter, the Colonials hold a double-digit lead as we are 10 minutes away from crowning an NEC champion. Kovac down the left side looking for her options. Decides to take it all the way down and into the basket. And one for Jessica Kovac.
Strong finish there from Kovac.
Castillo to the left side, down the baseline. Laying it up, nothing on the finger roll, and Kovac is fouled. And Jess Kovac is fired up. Carroll with it, guarded by Augustine. Over to Kovac. Kovac stops, pulls up with the fadeaway, and hits it! Jess Kovac single-handedly bringing this team back in it. Swager being guarded by Pluvios, setting up the play, going to her left. Stops, step back, and sinks the mid-range jumper. Adams driving in, sending it over to Azebo on the baseline. Can't keep it in. St. Francis ball.
Well, when they made that run, you know, they're chopping at the lead, and Kovac is getting going. I believe that was probably the moment of the story where we had to have our faith. That timeout not only was great with what we were adjusting and the things we were talking about, but the locked-in focus and the no-fear mentality. There was no fear. It was all faith in that huddle. And when we came out, we were ready to go and to conquer that 4 minutes that we had to conquer. And you know, that was a big part of that game. That run to make it 2, and then coming into that huddle and not thinking about things that were going to distract us again from what was going on out there. I saw nothing but locked-in focus in that huddle, and obviously the performance coming out showed.
Swagger on the right side, up to Kovac up top. Being guarded by Augustin. Yes, Kovac cuts back to her right. What a move. Lays it up off the iron. Rebounded by Robert Morris. Augustin being pressured from Sabino. Gets a pick from Ozzy-Momodu. Augustin still with it. Across the court to Posset. Posset cuts back to her left. To Augustin for 3. It's good!
What a shot by Augustin. Another deep 3 from her.
Swagger over to Zeza. Courtney Zeza being guarded by Ozzy-Momodu. Back down low for Swagger. Blocked by Posset! Posset, extra pass for Villaflor. Villaflor for 3 off the iron. Bouncing around. Rebounded by Swagger. Swagger racing up the court for St. Francis. Tied up with Augustin. A jump ball in favor of Robert Morris. Posset taking her time on the left side. Slowing things down for Robert Morris, being guarded by Sabino. Posset cutting in, over to Castillo. Castillo for 3, it's good! Esther Castillo puts the Colonials up 8 with a minute remaining. Morrow with her free throw attempt, no good. Rebounded by Pluvio, stolen away by Swagger. Swagger kicks it back out for Kovac. Kovac for 3, she airballs it.
And the Robert Morris faithful are giving her an earful now, Spencer.
Allen over to Swagger. Swagger for 3, no good. And time will expire, and the Robert Morris Colonials are the 2019 Northeast Conference champions.
I think it was a great season because, as I say, all of us are really close on and off the court, and we find that connection. And I feel we're more than a team. We're now just like a small family, and that's the important thing. Like, you're playing for a team to be able to accomplish goals. It doesn't matter if I have a bad game. Like, I know my team has my back, so that's the important thing. Like, we're playing for the team. You're not playing for yourself.
It was not about misery and relief. It was about accomplishment and how much work we put in and how much joy is at the end of this tunnel. You know, that path, there's that light at the end of the path, and then, you know, we had made it to that light. That was pretty amazing. There's nothing better than a coach to see that joy that you earned. You know, you earned that joy, you earned that moment. There's nothing better than that feeling.